Vervollständigung, die ich verstanden hätte. Aber was ist Gries?
And just like gathering up, and they're not necessarily like winning the map control battles, which is the more fundamental part of Counter-Strike in a certain respect. So Dust 2 feels like it plays into what they've been doing well so far. As we kick off the pistol.
He really wanted to block it. That would have been so funny, but it's all going to be out long here. They have another smoke for the cross, so once they get in the position, if they can push back Damadeus at the start, they certainly will.
Herausgefordert und hat auch seine Ladung bekommen als kleines Dankeschön.
Smoke is already thrown for the crosser. They're not going to be slowing down very much at all. You can see it landing right now. DGT trying to see if he could find the timing in front of it. Spinks with a sickening shot. There'll be Big Zero to hit the ground. They have so many bullets left. He's going to take down NQC with just one player left. You can see there's no respect here. They want to hunt him down. And what has he really got? He's got no more bullets. He's actually out of bullets. He couldn't even reload. That wasn't an option. Oh, it's a rare sight.
Yeah. That's not what you want to see. Just absolutely helpless. Well, MOUZ, you know, all the MOUZ fans will be happy. They get that T-pistol. A T-pistol it's so nice on Dust 2, because it can be such a...
Nein, das ist horrible. Ich schwöre, T-Pistol macht gar keinen Bock zu gewinnen, weil die Second Round die stärkste ever ist, Mann. Wenn da 2 Scouts über den Server laufen, eine 5-7, es macht gar keinen Bock, gegen so eine CT-Runde zu spielen.
As we move into this next round, we get that long control getting opened up by MOUZ, and okay, well, Damadeus able to get one, but ultimately a 4v3 advantage, long control. Spinks gets Snow as well with the MAC-10. It doesn't feel like there's much in the way of options. It would have to be a nuclear performance right now from NQZ with a scout, so it gets out-scouted, so...
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
Funny to see Toshi pick a one up on the T side, but whatever. Known to have some fun. I did think that double push from paiN. It looked for a second like there was an opportunity to slow down. I do think if Brolan had died at the beginning of that fight, the rest of the MOUZ squad could have been sort of staggered up behind him, and it could have been a bit of an awkward engagement. But none of that happened, so we don't have to worry about it any longer. DGT inside of B just to save the 5-7 with a little bit of armor. They're not going to have anything really going into the next round here, paiN.
Yeah, it is like it's one of those maps where I like to get that CT economy going as ASAP, because I feel like it's really hard to outperform the buy that the T's are gonna have when the T's win the pistol. It feels like it's so rare. So I'm just like, okay, I just want to have the AWP online as quickly as possible. I want to have those M4s online as quickly as possible. So we'll see, you know, what paiN actually gets going here, or whether MOUZ can really string together a bunch of rounds. I'm super curious how the MOUZ defaults are going to look, how much they prioritize long control, you know, just the stylistic choices for the team. It remains to be seen.
I think they have already allocated enough money for NQC to buy the early AWP, it looks like. So in that sense, they are in agreement with you, Dan. They really want the early.
Und jetzt mal einen dicken Stuhl mitten ins Bild, das wäre geil.
But yeah, MOUZ, they've not been scared of pushing a lot on their T sides, but as you've highlighted a couple of times, and they did it on Inferno 2 at times, they were also quite happy to slow the game down when they need to. And that's okay, nice shot. It's a hard dynamic to play against, like the slow and fast in the same round kind of thing can just be very frustrating when you're on the CT side. Great grenade.
They know exactly
was ein saftiges Nähtchen. Schöner Shot. Auch schönes Gesicht.
They know there's 2 players on the A site, but they know they're getting pinched from the back as well, so it's kind of awkward, but it looks like they're handling it fairly well with the full information, and the better guns perform better.
Mann, kriegt sein Timing einfach nicht, der Junge.
Listen, truer words have rarely been spoken, Dan. I appreciate that. Listen, the analyst earlier said that, you know, paiN needed to play better to win, so, you know, I think we've got, you know...
Man, we only hire the smartest people.
Sometimes it really is that simple, you know? Sometimes you don't have to make it more complicated. 3-0, round number 4. We're seeing that early. AWP on NQC. There is one on Toshi. He's upgraded from the Scout, which makes a lot of sense. And just the default coming out here for MOUZ. Taking upper and straight into lower. Not a lot of utility used to clear that lower dark position, which can be interesting later on if paiN do want to push up, which I think I've seen them in the past try and do, you know, some of those aggressive pushes. Double HE. MOUZ are really interesting with the utility on Inferno as well. They had some interesting nade kills. Now, they're not going to use the Molotov to clear the corner. There's a standard Molotov, maybe the most thrown Molotov on the map, to clear that exact spot. They don't throw it and suffer the consequence.
And I just want to shout out Skadoodle, because that was like a spot that I felt like he would get so many AWP picks from back in the day. For those of you that were around watching back in the Skadoodle era. And that's a nice 5v4 opening. And so that puts the question to MOUZ, you know, what are you going to do next? They've got one player implanted on that.
Der Bruder bringt einfach Skadoodle back. Auch einiges gehört jetzt.
There is NQZ there with the AWP, so
you just want all the
again.
For the NA crowd. They love that.
There we go.
I think it's fair though. Smokes and the counter smoke. Running right
Ja gut, das wird nach diesem Match erst kommen, ne? Es gibt nur einen A-Stream und auch nur der wird gespielt. Und wir können das Match in der Zeit auch nicht gucken, weil wir gucken natürlich Big hier. Wir casten Big sogar. Stark, Mann.
Absolutely.
Olli, danke dir für deinen Follow. Schön, dass du da bist.
Oh man, I like the timing there as well. You can see the small things where MOUZ makes sure that, again, they understand the map pretty well. They understand the setups, so they're ensuring that they get that cap pressure fully going. And then you see that indecision for NQZ, where he's not sure what the timing of the long push is going to be. If there is even going to be a long push, you don't know for certain. So it goes back to help the cap push, then is in a less good position to play off of, and is opened up for that Torsi trade.
Look at this long spawn, they're going to go for it.
Oh ja, habe ich doch gehofft. Das habe ich doch gehofft, dass wir dich hier behalten dürfen.
Yeah, and it forces the CTs to now play cat, which the Ts know. And so, you know, Dupree was talking about protocols.
Hier sieht leider an der falschen Stelle, wenn er jetzt auf dem Spot wäre schon. Ja, Gast jetzt auch auf dem Spot. Einiges möglich mit der Scout. Ein schnelles Gesicht und die Runde ist auf einmal auf. Ja, der hat sogar einen fetten Hit bekommen.
I don't think MOUZ are going to be surprised. I think they're going to be looking for it every time. Exertion. 2 auf 1 HP basically runtergeschossen. It's sort of rare to fall back from this kind of position. I think if you're on MOUZ, even if you're locked in, it doesn't really matter. I think most teams will just take the slight disadvantage of the CTs knowing, but at the same time you've got such a heavy advantage in pushing long. Nice shot. If they rush long again, I wonder for the observers if we can catch MOUZ throwing a smoke into the corner. There's a smoke that the Ts can throw into the corner of Longhouse that stops the incendiaries that are being thrown from the CT side. And I think that's what they did here, because it allows them to sit in the door and just shoot instead of having to like run through the flames as they're trying to get out on the other side. So next time we see that, it's such a sick strategy, and for whatever reasons, there are a lot of teams that don't do it at all ever. And a couple of teams have picked it up and are doing it a lot now, but it hasn't really spread to every team. I can't understand why. Wow.
Good cleanup.
Clean.
Yeah, and unfortunate for
Sam, schön, dass du da bist.
Just having that gun disadvantage, it would have been
der Bait hat jetzt gut reingefahren. Muss ich mich gleich beim Essen gefühlt beeilen, ey.
Dynamic you highlighted there on the long takes. I mean, long takes are so important. It certainly creates. Again, it's like Dusty is a situation where there are so many spots.
Das ist sehr gut. Ich mach mal ganz kurz. Sorry. Ganz gut schon mal den anderen Feed hier ready auf dem zweiten Screen.
So it puts you in this really powerful position as the Ts to then just essentially abuse and exploit the very expected things that you'll get as a result of that opener. So MOUZ 5-0, it's a nice start.
Just the fact that there's a bit of a timeout here. They've got the long spawn again. It makes you wonder if you would want to go really fast out of a timeout.
Okay, Freunde, ich gehe ganz kurz mampfen. Bin sofort wieder da für euch. Kurz mit dem Weibchen mampfen. Ich lasse euch schnell Pubdon hier, ja?
He could take a bit of a run out there. So far, much less interested. All right, he's going to take a bit of a peek and crouches right into the angle. CT smoke comes down rather late. paiN throwing, I think, the less optimal version of that smoke from CT spawn. There is a quicker one that, again, people don't want to throw for whatever reason. I like this from DDT. Look at the pressure. Spinks, I don't know how he wins the fight. He should be dead, because Zero is going to go down as well. And somehow, MOUZ with an advantage and a huge one early on. Snow, the only one of the site. Once he's traded, the round is essentially lost. You can't really retake. There's a lot of health lacking on MOUZ. It shouldn't make a big difference here.
Jinfat's in a good spot here to potentially catch these positions. You know what the options are, either through CT or through mid here. So Jinfat just holding on to the spot. So MOUZ have really good positions to cover for basically every possibility. And then, oh, okay, quick kill through the doors. And that kill actually came down so quickly, Anders, it might convince a retake here now.
Yeah, but look at the grenades. There's a smoke, there's a Molotov. They have another smoke and a Molotov after this. I think you're right, like it might convince them to do something, but I think it would be a mistake. And I'm glad. Look at paiN making the call. It is such a temptation, especially because you're about to be down 6-0. So you just want a way back. You want to find a way to get back into this game.
Maybe they get the exit kills.
That would be, I mean, that would be something. At least you would feel a little bit. There's a lot of money on MOUZ, so they're not going to be devastated, but it would feel good to do something. It's not going to be allowed for. They save the AK and the AWP, and that's the silver lining.
Yeah. It makes sense too, because any economic damage is like, the risk of losing anything yourself is so much worse than taking a gun away from an opponent, because it will barely dent their economy at this point. So 6-0 start coming in from MOUZ.
That's the slower smoke. There's a much faster way to throw it. And
I think it was so they could get NQZ on a pick. Because he did peek that spot at the start. That might have been why.
It could be. But there are some teams that just never throw it. I've noticed as well. Like they just, it doesn't matter what's happening. They just. Yeah. It's because it's nice to stand in that corner, I think, where the elevator boost is. But for whatever reason, some teams just don't want to learn the other one. Maybe there's too much Counter-Strike to learn.
Interesting, we get the very fast Molotov that would actually prevent NQZ from getting a quick pick from Cat, but is posted up on the other angle instead. So MOUZ making their way through middle here, and taking some damage. Love the presence from paiN. 4 versus 2, huge advantage. Now it's a 4 versus, or rather a 3 versus 2 in favor of paiN. So this much time on the clock, there's a lot of space to work with for MOUZ.
Look at Spinks walking through the smoke in the middle. That's an insane play. I don't think anyone knows. I don't think DGT saw that. Maybe it did with the MP9 at the corner of long, but yeah, actually, the fact that NQC's pushed up this far almost suggests that he probably does know.
But where is NQC? They got to wonder, like, where is the B player?
Yeah, it's real confusing, the Spinks right now. Brolan checking it nicely at the moment. Oh, his gun barrel showing, unfortunately. He still gets a shot. I can't explain that, and nobody else can either. Brolan at an insane disadvantage in that fight. Spinks already there.
Oh my God, Anders.
No way.
That is a really crazy kill to get. And hey, what the analysts were saying about MOUZ on Dust 2 looking real good right now. So 7-0 coming up, unless Big Azera can find an opening pick here and just get just a lightning fast reaction shot, because you know that MOUZ are not going to be giving any freebies there. So he's going to just peace out with the AWP. Makes a lot of sense. You can win a round of Dust 2 with an AWP, so
scary prospect for everybody. Obviously, MOUZ being 7-0, but also the analysts being right. You know, if the analysts get too much ego, if they get too uppity, Dan, you know what happens.
True.
We get MOUZ Snake. There's already one of him.
Yeah. That's the problem. We cannot duplicate. Okay, well, I mean, this is again the reason Dust 2 is so hard for the CT side, especially if you have a bad eco start. It just is always so hard, unless you're a team that's like super strong on this map and you just really know how to find these advantages out of nowhere. And I mean, this kill, Anders, like that should have been the moment. That should have been their moment, paiN.
I actually love the look from NQC. Like, he just looked skeptical. It's like he was doubting reality. Like, really? Really? Yeah. Like, that's what I'm faced with. He saw the gun barrel. I just, whatever. You have to laugh. Long control. Nicely done.
And getting active.
Yeah, he's playing to get his team back in this. I think he was doing it on Nuke at 1.2. Yeah. I like it. It's hard to do when you're this far behind. Unfortunately, Spinks is playing to win the round, and he's not far from doing that. If he had that kill, again, the round's probably over. Like, it's almost immediately done. I mean, that is a convincing timing to hit. You know, the smoke's gone past you. They're pulling their gun back out. That's a heads-up play from Spinks, but it backfires in this particular case. We've got double AWP online here for paiN, and that can be a blessing or a curse depending on the type of round the T's decide to play with the util. And they're going for a quick, like a hit that's heavy through dark here. Oh, a whiff from DGT. He's not going to get many more chances at this one as they start to get closer and closer, and it's going to be the Molotov that burns him down anyway. Oh, no. And paiN are in a very difficult spot here, Anders. It's again, probably not winnable. Certainly isn't now. With NQC going down, the missed op shot from inside of the B bomb site there on paiN was unfortunately potentially the thing that lost them the round. Jimmy with 3 kills in that one, and you already said it, could be a blessing or a curse with a double op setup. And
yeah,
as my Bulgarian friend Ted would say, either a mother or a mistress. Apparently that's their version of that saying, which I still am not 100% sure what that means.
I don't know how to decode that one, but I'm sure
Bulgarian sayings, though, they go really hard, I must say.
There's a lot of, I remember, back in the days, Janko telling me some of those, Serbian ones, and I'm like, I don't know.
Unfortunately,
they're like,
I know exactly what you're alluding to.
Yeah.
Shout out to Janko.
Yeah. Well, with that said, I mean, you got to hand it to MOUZ as well. Like with the AWP, double AWP in play, I'm not sure if they had the info. They probably had that read. Going for the heavier hit through the upper tons is certainly one of the best ways to deal with that, because the AWP can't fall back. Even if they get the first shot, they become very tradable. So yeah, really, really well played by MOUZ. 8-0. And AWP online for NQZ. Can he get an opening pick again? Can he keep doing it?
I mean, as hard as it is to say, he has to, right? Like,
well,
his team really
I got to
needs
hold that thought on this, because we get a quick push through the mid doors here, and we're going a very fast clear from paiN in the upper dark as well. So fast pace, they've got the info now.
Yeah, but on the other side, MOUZ are also moving at lightning speeds. They smoke as they're running and just keep on going for it. Exertion, he will go down, but nobody can rotate in time. And what a spray from Spinks. Davideus might have had a bit of an opportunity there, but Spinks is on a mission to make life very hard for paiN. They've already won 8 in a row. He's not satisfied with that. He can get one more kill here, make it a triple for himself. Bomb being planted, and Bigozera at every disadvantage you could possibly imagine. 1 versus 3 with an MP9, 38 health here, and they kind of know where he is. It's going to be Roland to find him at the end. 9 straight.
Yeah, and this is what you were talking about too, with when you get that long control, you can just force it up, and just the nature of how the CTs have to sort of back off of the site because of how they can just get rained on by util, and they're playing from cat and spawn. It's very awkward, so you can just make it work pretty favorably sometimes.
If we could find the replay from the start of the round when they run up, I think Roland was in T-spawn when the rest of them pushing long. I wonder if Roland saw them running around middle, because then he would have known that they had just had to rush. I wonder if that was the info that they got, because normally people are a little bit more slower. Oh, there we go. NQC, he's had many great openings. Won't be this one. Torshi, though, pushing in front. Okay. He could have fallen back, but he is the kind of player that will,
just
go for a bit more.
Just one more. Just one more, Anders.
I appreciate it. Does make it a little bit more fun. DDC, low on health, grenade around the corner, gonna bounce right on top of him. That is precision. And yeah, it's the surgical strike, I believe they call it.
And now it's the 4v3, so, and with well over a minute to play, again, like the really good Dust 2 teams on the T side, like exactly how to play these spots. And, based on understanding where the players play, they should be able to understand, okay, 1 on B, 2 on the A site. So interesting move, actually, by deciding to wrap around too long through the long doors. And you can see that paiN is worried about the B play now and just thinking that, oh, that was fake pressure. Yeah. But it's actually not. It's a delayed long push. So really nicely done.
Also, I actually think this is very out of meta for Dust 2 at the moment. Is going back to circle long. And I actually think you're totally right. They thought it was going to be B-split. And that is, I would venture to say statistically, way more likely in this kind of a round.
Yeah, it's kind of like the better thing to do, because the 2 players are on A. So it's kind of like the smarter thing to do, but you play against that expectation. Yeah. So yeah, you're totally spot on.
That's a super smart call from and they're already winning. They don't even need smart calls to win right now.
True.
But that actually is kind of surprising. Very interesting. Normally long is where you end up when you spawn for long. That's almost always the answer. Like, well, we got the long spawn, let's try and go for it. Doing it sort of mid to late round is kind of interesting. 10-0.
The CS gods decide. All right, 10-0. Now we start to ask that question: is it going to be a clean slate all the way through?
I wish we could get the "Shoot Him, Bro" sound clip back from Torshi from Nuke.
Well, hang on a sec. We got a setup here on Cat. Let's see, the 5-7 almost ahead was sent rolling there for MOUZ, but they managed to circumvent that. Hello, a little bit of tapping through the smoke with the MP9. Did you call it the sewing machine earlier?
Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it? The engine on one of those.
I like that.
Roland, unfortunately, going to get run down. Oh my god. I don't understand it. I think he's just AD spraying, even though nobody could see anything from the debris, and he still just lands 2 kills like it was absolutely nothing. Because Zera, technically, the flames are on top of him, but Counter-Strike is funny like that sometimes. There's another one to make absolutely sure. They are such bastards, aren't they, MOUZ? They're already winning, but they're just making double and triple sure that no one's in the corner. Yeah. I mean, it's great it's great professionalism to really check those positions, but
yes.
You might have just assumed, you know, we throw a Molotov, it's probably fine, you know?
Well, you know, this is to like wipe. This is like to wipe the slate clean of those last 2 maps.
Sure.
Where like you know, like to like already finish. You know, they say that you only remember the start and the beginning of things. And wait, yeah. sorry, the start and the end. The start and the beginning are the same things, but the beginning and the end is what you kind of remember about experiences. And so yeah, they can forget about that Inferno.
Yeah.
And just remember what could be a 13-0.
It is kind of shocking. And especially with paiN, you would assume they come off a big high from winning the Inferno game. Even if they were, it's been some cold water in their faces, double up in the middle. They both tag Snow, both the shots connecting. We need to see side by side both those clips on top of production. Get on it. I don't care how much it takes, how many resources we have to spend. Hitting one of those shots is hard enough. Hitting both at the same time. It even made that when you shoot 2 ops at once, you get that weird reverb sound sometimes. I don't know how the game does it, but you can sort of hear it. I'm pretty sure that's what just happened. Snow is 2 and 12. Not that anybody else on the server is doing anything for paiN right now. I guess in that sense, there's a sense of camaraderie that we just all are getting blown up together, you know?
Yeah. Such a classic maneuver as well. Again, it's like kind of reminiscent of the overkill of that kind of, what was it, like the Fnatic moment? Where like just like blasting the doors. Yeah. Well, there we go. Exertion opening up through mid doors, able to take down NQZ, so the hope is dwindling rapidly.
Exertion spotting the long barrel of that M4A1, takes the kill, keeps it spraying. The DDT is going to get blown up here, and nobody really cares where Big Zera is. It's not a factor in the round any longer.
Is this like an entry for AGDQ right now? Awesome games done quick.
Yeah,
a little bit late in the year for that.
It might be. I don't understand it. 12-0, ladies and gentlemen, for the first half.
Ha, da habe ich ja eine richtige Halbzeit verpasst. Sorry, Freunde, wir haben ein kurzes Nickerchen gemacht. Die Tage sind einfach lang und hart. Nein, die gibt's auch. Die gibt es nicht mehr. Also Jump Throw Scripts gibt's nicht mehr, weil du hittest ja einfach die Jump Throws so. Ja, eine schöne Grüße, mein Lieber. War gut, Hero Master, danke. Kleiner Powernap. Schön, dass es kaum aufgefallen ist.
There are many examples of how absurd things were, but obviously one of them was the two connected shots down the middle, both opening. Here's Spinks with one, and we have the other one from behind the camera here. Exact same time on that shot. Look at him even looking to the side. Just they can't even believe what's happening. Be super dead.
Oh no. All right, well, hear me out, Anders. Okay, so paiN are going to come back 12-12.
All right.
Force overtime, and then they're going to lose.
Listen, if they do that, it actually would be. I feel like that would be the script for it. I'll see it first, then. Even if I see it like that, I'll believe it. To be honest, there just should be no way. If they do it, obviously, it's a historic, once in a decade kind of comeback. I don't think it's gonna happen. But you know what? Let's enjoy and see if they can win the pistol. If nothing else here. Could also be a 13-0, in which case MOUZ.
Mocker, das hit ist auch so.
Right now, it's kind of hard to win that many and not make any mistakes. Down the middle, there's no casualties yet. They're going to be flashing their way through the smoke just as it fades. Really nice timing, but there's nobody there. It's good info, and you expect a rotation for MOUZ behind this. They've just figured it out. Now, I think paiN, they hear the flashbang, so they are also kind of aware that, oh, like this feels awkward. If we go somewhere else now, we could be playing right into
gut gemacht, Freunde. Das ist genau die Energie, die ich gleich zum Cast brauche, ja.
And that smoke is going to fade shortly. Bit of info gathering there in the mid position, but also the pressure on Cat. So yeah, definitely feels a little awkward for MOUZ at the moment, but they don't have to force anything. They've got good positions in a 2-1-2.
It could just be catwalk, or it could. All right, they are going to go for it. Fair enough. Exertion, nice shot.
Naja, Mocker, willst du diese Antwort hören?
Nice Molotov to put pressure on the captain of MOUZ. Jimmy has picked up Snow in the meantime. They're sort of fumbling a bit. They're running back. They are not sure. Did they want to attack? Are they going to go back instead? Now it's
okay, ist einfach 3-0, ja.
To try and stop the 13-0. MOUZ looking to humble paiN. And they most certainly will. He's down to 7 health. It's a good shot, but the bomb is lost. There is again.
Also, was ich sehe, ist, danke, dass du mich daran erinnerst, dass Olli gefollowt hat, danke, und Endklux geresubbt hat mit seinem Prime 64 Monate. Danke dafür, du geiler Mensch. GG hier. Und Endklux, danke dir für deinen wunderbaren Support. Danke dir für den Resub und die Treue. Uff.